Hi everyone, Trace from the Wildlife Garden, reporting on lovely storm Lilian damage. We had high winds, not that high, but we had high winds. It sort of brought the branches down on my dog rose a little bit, but I'll just tie those in, so that's not a problem. The arch is at a jaunty angle with the Montana on. My thinking with that was I was going to cut it back this year, and then I thought, well, let's give it till spring, let it flower, and I'll cut it back hard after spring, so it'll give it a chance to send up new shoots ready for the following, so I don't lose any flowers. I think I can prop it back up, and then I can replace, if I let it flower in I think it's April it flowers, let it flower one more time and then cut it back really hard, because I know you'll come back, so that's not a problem. The big issue is that tree that I've been telling you it's been at a jaunty angle forever, has now come down. This buddleia is holding it up at the moment. If we go through, oops, there's ivy everywhere and broken bits of buddleia. Let's go up into the wilderness. I mean, thankfully it's the wilderness, so it's not a problem as such. Look at it, it's enormous. Got to get rid of that somehow. Well, it'll go up the top of the garden, but when I saw it this morning I thought, oh, I'm going to have to tackle that. But I've just come back from my local woods where I volunteer, so I've had a few hours collecting hay at the woods from the wild grassed area, so I'm tired anyway, but I'm thinking it's about to come into flower, this ivy. It won't have killed the ivy. I imagine the ivy's fine, just at a funny angle. So do I leave it and let the ivy do its thing, let it flower? Also, there may be eggs on it from the lovely holly blue that lays eggs on holly, and leave it until spring too. It's going to take me ages to cut it back whenever I tackle it. There's some builders in the background shouting. That's just they're building an extension on a house. My only concern is at the moment it's also resting a little bit on the mahonia, and obviously that flowers in winter and it may be causing damage to it, so my husband and I are going to try and lift it off, I think, and see if we can move it a little bit. Squashed the Joe Pye plant, again not a problem. Joe Pye just dies back completely to ground level in the winter and regrows, so that's not a problem. And underneath is the green alkanet, again not a problem. It's the wilderness, so that helps as well. I hope it's not too windy. I've got my mic on, but it's the wilderness, so it's not a problem. It's right at the top of the garden, and yeah, it'll just be well, it won't even be in the way. So I think my decision is that I'll let nature carry on a little bit with it, let it flower, get the berries on it for the winter birds, because we could be having a harsh winter, you never know, and there's lots of food then for the birds. Although I'm looking now and I can't see them, and I think a lot of the flowers are underneath. I'm not sure. Well, I think what we'll have to do is see what happens when we try and move it. If we can't move it, then I think I'm going to have to start tackling it and cutting it back. It's opened up this lovely big space here now, and probably what I'll do is I'll move my hawthorn into that area and let the hawthorn grow. And have to just be aware of the ivy growing up the hawthorn. So yeah, hopefully my oak tree at the back is untouched. I never expected it to fall that way. I always thought it was going to fall on the compost bins when it eventually came down. But you can see it's quite the job I'm going to have to clear it. Yeah, so it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Looking at my lovely rhubarb, that could do with a good drink. The wind's drying all the pots out, so I think my priority at the moment is to try and move it off the mahonia and assess it once we've moved it a little bit. I think if we move it, the only problem is I can get up here at the moment. I think if we move it off the Mahonia, I'm not going to be able to get through that little gap, am I? There's a little gap there at the moment. Well, I'll feed back to you once I've made a decision. I'm due an August update, which I plan to do at the end of the week. So let the wind carry on doing what it's doing at the moment. And yeah, I'll get back to you. But on a happy note, look at the apples on the tree. Looking all rosy and gorgeous. Hopefully I'll find the nests that have been in the tree this year when I start to clear this as well. Well, I knew it was going to happen, so it's not a surprise. It's just come earlier than I thought it would. I thought it would be the snow that would bring it down. Okay, so from a very wild wilderness, yeah, I'll say goodbye on that. Take care, everyone. As I say, I'll update you once I've made a final decision on it. I'll let you know at the end of the week. I'll show you what I've done. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye for now. Batten down those hatches. Hi, everyone. Just to show you, I've made a start. I'm waiting to see whether the ivy is alive or dead. But I've been able to free up the Mahonia. They'll actually love the shade there. They're more shade loving plants than sun loving. I had to cut back a buddleia really hard there because I just couldn't get in any other way. But it had all flopped over, so I'm hoping I can train that to go vertical rather than horizontal. The what's it called? It's named after a drink, I always think. It's another elder, but it's the black elder. That's not so happy here. It could do with more sunlight, so I need to find a place for that. But yeah, let's have a look at what I've managed to do. Because my toes playing up now. As I dislocated it. Right, I managed to clear a little bit there, so I could get in and reach. I'm going to stand on other plants to do this, so you can see I've managed to clear it. Let's get a bit closer if I can without falling over. So it's completely free of the ivy, so that hopefully will continue to grow and flower. There's no damage to the oak tree. I was wondering if it had knocked anything off that, but it hasn't. So it's a wait and see now to see if it's alive or dead. I have a feeling it's alive because this is sort of where it's sprouting from. So I imagine it's just fell over. There's the trunk. It's quite a chunky trunk. We're having a half cutting through that. We've got a small electric saw and some handheld tree saws, so that'll be fun. Otherwise, you can see how brittle that is. It's elder just is not the strongest of trees. So I'm hobbling, I'm afraid, because of my toe I dislocated. Not today, last fortnight ago. So yeah, it can stay like that for the time being. If it starts to droop, then I know it's dead or dying, and then I'll attack it more. Really, I should leave the trunk, but I'll have to get all the ivy off it. So I don't know. It's a puzzle, but I'm sure I'll resolve it. Yeah. So it's very shady down here now, but I can get through quite easily and back through the arch. You can see some of the stuff there that can go in my council recycling bin, but most of it has gone onto the dead hedge at the top. So yeah, looks very shady here now. Be interesting to see what happens when the sun does come out. But the poor buddleia is holding it up at the moment. I might have to cut those branches back there. They're a bit in the way. They're not in the way for me because I'm not so tall as my husband, but I'll perhaps do those tomorrow. Yeah, so So made a start. We'll see how we go, how far we have to go. It's got to come out, obviously, it can't stay there, but it's going to take a while. It's very dense. I found one nest, but it was all destroyed, possibly in the fall. But no other nest at the moment. But I know blackbird was in there nesting and the robin was in there nesting. So it's said that it's gone, but that's what happens when ivy takes over. It doesn't kill the tree, but eventually it pulls it down. It gets so top heavy, and elder being such a weak tree, it's not the best idea. So don't let ivy get away with you unless it's in a very, very strong tree. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.